By the end of this episode, you should have at least one thing you actually can change tonight. Till now, we have covered how we sleep and what goes wrong. And if you have missed that, click here and check that out first. And now it's solutions, research backed habits, small changes, and the actual evidence behind why they work. There's a lot of advice out there. Which one do you think works best for you? What do you follow? And what do you think is overrated when it comes to sleep?
Not consuming caffeine hours before going to bed, having dinner at least 3 hours before bed, and having dim lights, soft music, a soft environment definitely works. What I feel doesn't work is when people say, I do journaling, but a lot of people say that when you journal every night, you have better sleep. I feel it does not necessarily play a major role, but that cannot be the factor which helps you with sleep.
The most boring advice, which is keep a sleeping routine and have a same time of sleeping daily, which means I have to be disciplined, and it works. Also overrated, blue light is blamed for everything, but it's not just blue light. It's just us kind of stalking someone at 2 a.m.
For me, I avoid caffeine. Secondly, I have dim lights when I go to sleep. People say that soothing music और ये सब आप सुनते हो तो आप मतलब अच्छी नींद आती है. But that doesn't work for me. I have tried that.
For me, what works is I keep my hair loose when I sleep. I don't use clutchers, ponytails, or tight hair clips. So definitely loose hair. Comfortable clothes, cotton, linen works best for me. Also, what has worked for me is fixing my circadian rhythm, sticking to a certain time period of sleeping. It's like adjusting your body clock to the time you go to sleep and the time you wake up. And what some things I think are like overrated or hyped is journaling, as Ruchi said. I don't believe that writing too much. I think that disturbs my mind, speaking for myself. I also feel like putting your screens away for like an hour before. I don't think that's a practical solution. I mean, we all are like living in this tech era, so I don't find it very relatable for me.
So first, a small disclaimer: if you're suffering from insomnia or any kind of sleep apnea, any kind of chemical issue, you need expert guidance. Okay? For general people, I would suggest any tip is overhyped if there is no intent. If you have something to look up to next day, कि हाँ मुझे इसलिए करना है ये, that's when you will realize that then there will be intent in your routine, then you will follow it. अदरवाइज फोन सामने ही पड़ा आपका, लोग बोलते फोन दूसरे कमरे में वो लोग छोड़ते हैं जिनके पास इंटेंट है कि मुझे करना क्या है इस टाइम के साथ. Like my intent is to keep myself awake till the time I am exhausted. You need the intent to follow any kind of guidance. Nothing will work for you if you don't have any intent.
If someone is chronically underslept, what's the first thing they should actually try?
The first thing they should do is not try to get advice from your family, because talking about present situation and present family scenarios and everything, you will be blamed for either staying out late with your friends or not taking good food or using your phone all the time or stress and everything. So the first thing they should do is first अंडरस्टैंड, खुद से ही समझने की कोशिश करनी होगी कि मैंने ऐसा क्या गलत किया कि ये हो रहा है.
Firstly, you should go to the epicenter of the problem. What is the root cause? Why are you not able to sleep? Any issues, financial issues, family issues. So you have to go to the root cause to figure out what the branches are doing. Are having disturbed sleep, there has to be a reason behind it. Either your diet is not up to the mark, either you are overthinking about certain things, you are not tired enough to sleep. So I would say before even going for the intent, go to the root cause of what is actually troubling you that you're unable to get a good night's sleep.
So I agree with Ruchi and Harshita, but at the same time, I feel the first step before seeking help is to remove the guilt that you have, that you can't sleep, can't wake up at the right time, and try to make sure that you are removing your ego and then talking to a person, whether it be a doctor or somebody. Just talk what you are going through, not about sleep. Just talk about your things, what you're suffering from. That's what she said, right? But for that, you need to remove your ego. कि भाई मैं क्यों करूं, मैं क्यों एडवाइस लूं, मैं पागल थोड़ा हूं, मैं क्यों जाऊं किसी डॉक्टर के पास. You have to remove that. That's when you will get to your comfort zone and you will be able to open yourself up.
My last question is, what's one research-backed fact about sleep that you think everyone should know about, but most people don't?
I had told before about the Indian Society for Sleep Research, and there are multiple articles and multiple research that they have done, and they have found that men tend to have more sleeping disorders than women. And from personal experience, I have seen my father going to bed late, still waking up early in the morning because he does not want to express. फिर वो दिन में सो रहे होते हैं, उनको बार बार नींद आ रही है. This is also one of the sleep disorders. This is a major problem where आप कहीं भी बैठ रहे हो और आपको तुरंत नींद आ जा रही है, आप बार बार झुक रहे हो. My father has that, and he will never open up about it. He will never say. And this is with a lot of men in our country, especially talking about 50s and 60s.
Basically, according to a research, sleeping 5 to 6 hours and thinking, okay, I'm doing great, is the biggest scam. Your brain is just underperforming and you don't realize it.
I've heard women during their periods need more hours of sleep.
Because sleep is directly related to recovery when we talk about physical health, and sleep also helps you with your IQ and EQ.
I think जो अनमोल ने पहले बोला था कि अभी realize नहीं होता when we don't sleep enough. It's the later stages when it actually shows the real impact.
I'm realizing.
कि 25 तक आप नहीं ठीक से सो रहे हो, ठीक है अभी आपको it is all fun and games, but maybe after 28 is when your body will start showing the signs.
I think the relationship between sleep and diet is something that is very often overlooked, because a lot of times we have held stress as the main factor behind sleeplessness. Talking about our Indian diet, a lot of times I have sought like therapy or an escape in a midnight biryani or a midnight pizza, which is the worst you can do to yourself. We as Indians tend to have firstly late dinners. The concept of supper has completely skipped the Indian mindset. We believe in good, warm, comfort, heavy dinners actually. There's a saying also, breakfast like a king and dinner like a pauper. So that should actually be the case.
One thing I feel about research papers and everything, it is accurate, but it also generalizes the situation. For example, let's say caffeine. At night, she drinks coffee and she sleeps. My mother sleeps. And I drink coffee at 4 p.m. I just lose my entire night. Right? So it is a very subjective thing. One thing people have to realize, it's not about research or it's not related to research, that whenever you are asked to consult a doctor, 90% of the time the sleep issues you have are lifestyle issues. You won't be given any medication to solve it, because brain में issue 2% 5% लोगों के होता है. Majority of sleep issues are due to lifestyle. To people who are not suffering from sleep issues, be empathetic towards others who are suffering from it. Don't ignore their suffering.
Sleep is one of those things everyone does and almost nobody thinks about it. But it impacts us deeply on all levels. Hopefully, after these discussions, that's changed a little for all of us. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, comment below and I'll see you in the next one.